can I switch gears and just ask you for a couple of tips for people on raising cash? And again, I know we could do a full hour on that topic, but a lot of people listening to this podcast are early entrepreneurs and they're struggling with that early, the first 6 months, first year, holy shit, they don't have any cash. They bootstrapped it. Just maybe a couple of tips on maybe when to raise and how to raise quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So there's no judging, right? If you want to bootstrap a company and be profitable, awesome. I think we underappreciate those sorts of companies. And there's a whole topic around that. There's sort of angel capital versus local capital versus let's call it coastal capital. So there's 3 different buckets and sort of understand the different rules of the game. And we don't have time to go on those rules, but like angel capital, I'd say is pretty dangerous because it's sort of small dollars and high hassle. It just is high. It's family, it's people that, are going to bug you. So I would try to stay away from that. But like local VCs, I think kind of a sweet spot.
Okay.
And coastal VCs will probably want to have a local lead anyway. So before you go to a coastal VC, like start with the local community. And the local community is actually quite easy to engage with through other founders, through lawyers and accountants, through all the associations. It's not that hard to, they're on Twitter, right? Natty with Matchstick is like, I'm looking for deals, just hit me up, right? It's like, you can talk to these people. And the way to talk to a local venture capitalist is early and often. So you can say, hey, Natty, let's get on a Zoom call, whatever. I just want to chat with you about what I'm doing. In the conversation, no PowerPoints, you don't need all that stuff. You just say, hey, Natty, I'm going after this market this way with these people. What do you think? I'm concerned about this thing over here. What do you think? And he'll say, well, I think that's a good market. That's a clever way to do it. Those people, oh, maybe this is okay, maybe it's not. That thing you're worried about, I wouldn't worry about that. But I've seen 3 other companies with the same maybe business model or comparable market, and they had issues over here, here, and here. Maybe you should think about those things. And you say, oh, great, I hadn't thought about those things. Let me think on that some more. Hang up, go away, right? Think on it some more, do some more stuff, ping them back and say, hey, Daddy, that thing you told me, you made a difference, right? You made an impact. I've changed my thinking now, right? I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to change the model this way. I dropped this co-founder. I picked up this co-founder. I got that partner. Like, maybe they're not inked yet, but it's like, oh, well, they would, if we build it, they would come. You're like, what do you think's right next time? So you see what we're doing here. We're just drafting them on
building.
The team.
Yep.
Yeah. And so,
yep. Building a relationship.
Yeah. Raise money locally. And so I can never really remember even asking a closing question because it was always, you're explaining your goal. You're explaining what you're doing. And maybe it's like getting the CEO job, right? And it's like, and then they're smart enough to realize like, I want to be part of this. And I understand the capital requirements of what you're talking about and the timing. And so it's like, you're going to need money like in May if you want to get that trade show demo done by June, right? And I was the investor on that case. So it was like, yeah, so I need to give you money now so you can hire that person to get the demo so we can see if we get some traction over the summer. That's basically the first bet. And so that's how it's the early and often approach versus the coastal approach is completely different. Is that's the situation where you need to be buttoned up and you have that one shot at a first impression, right? And so having a tight deck, knowing all of your objections you're going to get, how you're going to handle them, say, yeah, great, glad you asked, boom, that actually is perfect. And so that's where I would start with the local fundraising.
I really encourage people on that early and often with local. I think that's great. Most of the time, these early founders, they don't even have the money to fly out to California and do any pitches, right? They're just trying they're trying to work their other job that's still paying the mortgage while they're doing the startup here in Boulder or Denver, barely getting by. Yeah, if you'll just build some relationships early and often, like you said, with some local investors, you never know what can happen. And you're right. Once that relationship is there, they'll be the ones to offer cash before you even ask for it. So yeah, great advice.
Here's my last bit of career/fundraising advice is eat lunch at the Cheesecake Factory. And what I mean by that is I have eaten well over 1,000 lunches at the Cheesecake Factory, well over 500 in just 2 years. And I've done it for 20 years. And what I do is a big table and I invite 3 people. And so when I was a CFO at 28 years old, I don't know what I'm doing. I would invite 3 other CFOs who were maybe 38 years old to come to lunch and they all say yes and I'll buy. And then I get to ask the first question, like, how do you put together a board packet? Just whatever it is. And then a conversation happens. I learn a ton of stuff. I pick up the check and we all go our separate ways. Right. And so now I've made 3 friends. I've got 10,000 LinkedIn connections. I probably know 3,000 of them decently well. Right. It's just people I've met along the way. They were helpful. And that's awesome. When I became the VP of sales, same thing. I'm like, I don't know what to be VP of sales. How do you deal with all the conflict that happens? It's like, oh, I would bring people together. We have a lunch. They go away. Same thing as CEO. First time being a CEO, have lunch with 3 people who are a CEO about 5, 10 years ahead of you on your career trajectory. It's great. Same thing with the investors. You bring more than one investor together. Bring them to lunch and say, you know what? I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? That's it.
Wouldn't it be nice if high school and college prepared young people for better networking? I mean, really, it's so critical.
Well, I'm working on that, teaching a venture capital course at the CU MBA program. They're not all even on LinkedIn. Some of them didn't link in with me for 6 weeks into the course. I'm like, come on, people.
Come on.
Every week on how did you become a VC, every story is the power of the network.
It is.
I did this, and then I did this, and again, because things go wrong, and then you recorrect, and then opportunities come up, and it's a very non-linear process to become a VC or a CEO or exited founder.
Jim, I could keep you on the podcast for another 2 hours. I should have booked you for like 2 hours, man. I'm looking at my list of questions that I wanted to ask you, and there's like 10 other ones here. But listen, you should definitely come on the show again. I would like to go deeper on, the things like picking co-founders, some of the early bootstrapping, how much risk you should take, when to go all in and quit your job. There's so many other things I wanted to go into, but
let me give a plug then for that. It's Founder Institute, started by Adeo Messi in the Bay Area. There's a class running in Denver, I think pretty soon.
Okay.
I was the director of it for 4 years back in 2010 to 2013. And it's a 14-week program that hits exactly all those issues. It's
Great.
1 night a week, so you keep your day job. It takes people who are ordinary citizens, puts them through a 14-week intense experience, and you come out with like a little gold star of being a founder, right? It's a founder literacy curriculum. And so we would have 3 speakers a week come in and talk for half an hour on co-founder dynamics. And then I'd speak for 2 hours on co-founder dynamics. And then we'd go out and drink beer for 2 hours talking about co-founder dynamics. So it was about 6 hours of content on Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to midnight about all those things, how to deal with vendors or naming and branding and corporation, just all this stuff about how do you sort of put it together.
There are lots of avenues to learn stuff like that, right? There's so many different organizations and groups and podcasts and different things you can be part of if you just do a little bit of homework.
Yeah. And FI does charge the entrepreneurs, and generally I don't like charging entrepreneurs, but it's about $1,000, I think.
Okay.
But it's sort of that skin in the game, and you have to incorporate a business in Delaware while you in the program, right? So you will start a business, and it's brutal, and it's designed to be brutal because Adeo is trying to get you ready for the real world. And
right.
You think class is brutal, then don't be a founder.
Yeah. I was just about to say it. Yeah. The training better be brutal because starting a company is more brutal than we can possibly explain on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like it because in Colorado, we're not brutal. We're nice people, right? We want to encourage people, but I think we were doing a disservice because we were encouraging people maybe to start things when they weren't ready to do, they weren't ready for the consequences,
right?
Money or life consequences.
That's another 2 hours of family dynamics, relationship stress, all the rest of it. If you think today's tip or guest interview can help someone you know, please share this with them. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified when we release a new episode. Our show features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. You can visit riderflex.com to learn more about us and get information on the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Thanks so much for listening and have a great day.